The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Goonies Comedy Club.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and let me get that off of there. And let me welcome Logan Nielsen in with us. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. So,
a little bit of beard there, it looks like.
Yeah, I had to shave off the top, my top lip, and only because it's the only place that it comes in dark.
Oh,
and it
really?
Comes in dark right along here. So it ain't a good look.
Oh, so it'd be great if you got like the dark kind of all the way down. Then you'd have like a reverse Hulk Hogan going.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that.
Especially back when he was Hollywood Hogan, where it was the white and the black stubble.
Yeah, I would be fine with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just like I'm looking in now here. It's I mean, I'll get rid of it soon enough. But it's just this part was just so. It made me look like either I had eaten a dirt sandwich or I was trying to impersonate somebody I didn't want to impersonate. So anyway.
Fair enough.
Big. I first want to say I was very moved watching the memorial for George Floyd yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but the parts of it I watched were.
Yeah. The thing that really stuck with me was Al Sharpton. And I'll be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of Al Sharpton's.
Mm-hmm.
But the eulogy that he gave with the get your knee off our necks really was something. And so anyway, that's so I didn't have a interview with anybody yesterday.
Yeah, I was seeing your post about that is how I knew it was on actually.
So I did serve a purpose.
You did, I went and
I did serve a purpose. Other than that, I mean, it's still, it's so weird because we're still having all of this COVID-19 stuff. We're still, hi Cindy, how are you? Good to see you. I hope things are good down there in Alabama.
Oh, Alabama.
Yeah, Cindy's been watching us for a while.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
She became a fan when I interviewed Mr. Showtime David Scott.
Oh,
because
nice.
She is a fan of his. And it's beautiful when I can keep people's attention long enough. They think it's fun to come and watch me. So anyway, I don't know what else to talk about. I had a good interview with Ryan Call. I had a good interview with Josh Florhog and Eric Escobar this week. But it still feels weird, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of. I was talking about this the other day with somebody where it's. Before we were having the conversation of getting back to normal because of COVID, and now there's a little bit of like when do I want to get back to normal, kind of with this stuff. And I think and not saying that we need to stay somber and whatever, but like for me, I'm still worked up and I'm still, I don't know. And part of it is also, I'm still educating myself a bit,
yeah.
I don't want to lose focus on learning more about, what's happening in this moment and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means or any shit like that. Especially I think part of why I've been so kind of rattled by a lot of this too is knowing how much I did ignore it before.
Yeah.
I mean, I ignored Ferguson because I could.
Yeah.
I looked away, and now it is just like, whoa, and I think too is the kind of thing I'm like I have now that like I just want people to consider for a second is even even, especially if you have feelings about, the looting or the whatever, or the people who are like, all lives matter. And like, there are other people who could debate those more eloquently than me. But the one thing I do want you to consider is that we literally have protests in all 50 states of this country. And I think we're up to 30 countries now protesting in solidarity. So just no matter what your feelings are, just take a second and realize this is literally the largest civil rights movement in history.
Yeah.
Not American history. History.
World history.
World history. And I understand there's a lot of nuances to it. And there's a lot of complicated issues wrapped up in it. But just let that sink in for a moment about what that means about where we are right now and what that means for our future. And, it's because, I guess, and not to, again, I'm not trying to villainize anybody right now or anything, but like growing up as a kid and you learn about the civil rights movement of the 60s, I remember always thinking, like, who would be against that? How would you be angry about that? And now, sadly, I'm looking out and I'm seeing people who are like, well, I don't know, though. And it's, and I think the thing is, too, you realize it's not as outspoken as, no, they should just stay in their place. Or it's not as overt as that. It's smaller. It's people being like, and it's not even necessarily because they hate someone else. It's that they just want the status quo. They can't comprehend it being different.
They don't want, I think, so here's kind of something that I've been thinking about. Mm-hmm. This is kind of like how comedy works. At a certain point, when you're starting in comedy, a lot of people, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people get a feeling that they are, they don't want people to get ahead of them. They don't want to share stuff with people because they don't, well, if I let Logan know who's booking X room that I work, well, then maybe I'm not going to get to work that room. I think there's a lot of fear of people thinking that if everyone has a level playing field, my share of the pie is not going to be as big. I think that's bullshit myself. Because there's so much stuff. There's room that way for everybody.
And that's what I'm seeing a lot of people where I'm, interviews I'm listening to of, Black people who are speaking out. They're just saying, like, if we make it better for us, it's obviously going to be better for you. Like,
it's and it's hard. And I as many people, as a 58-year-old white guy, all I want to be quiet. I want to be respectful because you know what? My control over anything really right now is this and my family, and even then they're grown up and I have no control over that. So I can only do what I can do, but I need to be quiet and shut up and have people that know what needs to be done tell me. And I'm willing to do that.
Well, and I think also, though, there is, because I've been contemplating this too, especially being back here now in small town Iowa, which I have nothing against, but it's like, it's hard that, like, this is the most I've missed Chicago, from living there, and because I'm seeing my friends and what they're doing and what they're going through and stuff like that, and knowing I didn't do much when I was there for the communities that are, protesting and being affected the hardest, honestly, in this right now. And, and it's easy to let that crush you and feel like you're not doing enough. And I've had, luckily, a couple people in my life just say to me, they're like, what can you do right here, right now? Mm-hmm. What can you, and so, and part of that I do think is, as much as, be quiet and listen, but also talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. And we go on here and we're very open with how we feel about this, and stuff like that. But that's why, I never used to post anything political. I've been so checked out of the news for years now, just because I didn't want to deal with it. Yeah. And now I'm realizing too, the damage though that can come with that, of being like, whatever happens. And, so I'm not, that doesn't mean like, oh, suddenly get on Facebook and be super political and stuff like that, but talk to people. If you see someone talking in a way you disagree with, have a conversation with them about them. Have a, and I don't like the debates just turn into, fuck you, you're stupid, because you see it all the time where people love to go right to jobs too.
Yeah.
People love to immediately go to like, oh, well, have fun back at your stupid job or whatever, which I think right there is also, no one sees the irony of how judgy we are to people who we feel like are below us.
Yeah.
Like right there, even though it'll be two white people having an argument, but it immediately comes about why I'm above you and why you are below me. And it's like, that is kind of our inherent, I've talked about, like, I think with people, one of the biggest problems with just people, all people, is our favorite thing in the world is knowing someone has it a little bit worse than us. And that can be in a large, ugly way, like systemic racism, or it can be in a little way of just like, at least I'm not that poor guy across the street.
Yeah.
I think that's an ugly side of us that I think is just kind of inherent and has always existed.
Are you old enough, Logan, to remember Tiananmen Square?
What year was that? Not to remember when it was happening, but I absolutely know of it.
It was in the late 80s, I believe.
I think it might have happened right before I was born. I was born in 88.
Okay. So this is to give you some sight. My life has always been awesome. I was delivering papers.
89, so I would have been alive. But
as a 30-year-old guy, I was out delivering papers for a Minneapolis Star Tribune. And we can go into this story some other day because it doesn't make any difference. But I'm out delivering papers as my third job. Mm-hmm. Because I'm as I'm doing it, they're broadcasting. It's huge. Tiananmen Square, right? The people of China are standing up to the communist regime. So many people over here were rooting for the protesters. Yet when it comes to protesting here for absolutely a just cause, how many of them are like, no. It's like, what the, I don't understand that logic.
I mean, I'm literally seeing the side-by-side posts that people are doing of some people where it's the people who, I will not stay in my home because of COVID. You can't enforce me to stay home, whatever. And then now being like, protesters need to honor the curfew. And it's just, and all the stuff too. I won't get too off on a political rant too, but it's like the hoops people will jump through to continue defending Donald Trump too.
Yeah.
Like, he stands for liberty. Well, he's literally trying to send the troops on against Americans. That's your whole Second Amendment argument, right?
Yeah.
Also, he stands up. He's a Christian one. He tear gassed people in front of the church and has been condemned by the bishops and parishioners of that church.
He's
said he was mad at him.
It's and I don't want to get political. People, you know what? Because I know politics wise, you can't change anybody's mind.
No,
all you can do is hope that they see what reality is through unfiltered eyes and say something's really wrong here.
Yeah,
that's all you can hope.
I think that's become one of the saddest things in our politics today is how it's only about saying your side is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even really about saying your side is right anymore. It's just about saying your side is wrong.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm also, because then people immediately, if you criticize Trump, it's like, well, Obama did this, or what, but her emails, but the looting is the new but her emails, and everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, and here's the thing, yes, those can be other things. Right now in this moment, though, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And like, listen, I'm not in love with Biden being the candidate either. I love going, oh, which of these septuagenarian perverts is going to get us out of this one? That's not what I hate that continues being which old man is going to be the one to lead us to the future. I'm getting very tired of having that.
It's one of the reasons I think it's hard for people. I can tell you this, the frustration and anger of people over COVID-19 should certainly be overshadowed now by the fact that, and you see all of these videos and stuff now of the terrible police brutality and all of this to people that are literally doing nothing. And it becomes very disheartening. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to today kind of talk about, and it's in our description. Let's talk about how to help people. Mm-hmm. One of the coolest things that's happening right now in St. Paul, Minnesota, is there's a huge group of comedians, and they have, and they're led by Shay Webby. I'm going to pop it up here. You can read a little bit about it. What they have done is they've kind of banded together, and they have a pop-up food shelf up there at Lexington and Central in St. Paul. And it's for people because the Target got closed. Some of the local stores got closed, looted, whatever. And people may say, oh, well, my gosh, if they're looting, why would they do that? It's like, you know what? Not all of those people did it. It's like you think that people just decided, hey, if one person starts looting, we should all just start doing it. And that's not the case, you know, and I think that kind of mentality is bad. But anyway, they're really fulfilling a huge service every day from 11 until 3 o'clock and still until the stores can open up again. And if you want to find out more about this group, there are many groups throughout Minnesota, Minneapolis, and wherever you may live if you're watching. There are many groups that are absolutely fine groups to donate your time and your resources to. This group I particularly like because it's people that I know, and I know what they're doing. So look them up at Shay Cares MN. And if you'd like to donate or volunteer something, send them an email at shaycaresinfo@gmail.com. They're only up there working, you know, for 3 hours a day. They're taking donations from 10 until 2. So an hour before you can make donations. And, you know, it's a really good cause. And just to give you a quick idea, these are some of the items that they need. There are some items they don't need any more of. They've got plenty of those donations. But you know, I don't want to say non-perishable meat, but that's easier for them because it's not a grocery store. It's just some tents that they've set up, and they're collecting things. They also need some disposable masks because, having said all of that, we still are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and they need to be covered up so that they don't give anybody a virus or catch a virus if that's the case. But again, these are what they need today. You can go to Shay Cares MN on Facebook and you can find out what they need every single day. And if you want to send them an email at shaycaresinfo@gmail.com, they can tell you exactly what you can do for them. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to buy anything, I don't want to go up there, that's fine. Send them a little bit of money. They've got a Venmo or a Cash App or something like that. I don't have that information, but because it has changed since I sent them some money. Which was beginning of this week, I think.
Do they put those little title cards up, or did you make those?
So some of these are, so basically, like on this one here, this is what they're using. So the left side there is exactly what you'll see on their webpage.
Okay. And, because I just wanted to share those images, and I didn't know if you had them or it was
I can send you the whole thing. I can send you this whole thing, or you can get them off of their Facebook page.
Okay.
I put them together because it would be easier for me to show the entire thing, and etc. So you tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it.
Okay.
But anyway, I also know that the owner of Goonies Comedy Club, Marc Clampy, is his day job is at the Channel 1 Food Bank in Rochester, Minnesota. Now, Rochester, Minnesota was not subject to any rioting, But having said that, again, we're still in COVID-19. People still need food. I don't talk to Marc nearly as much as I used to because he's busy doing that day job, getting food, and he has. I mean, they're all working, I guess, to help package it, etc. So there's another one that I absolutely know is a great place to send some donations if you have them. My sister is down in Urbandale, Iowa, at the UCAN, which is Urbandale Community Action Network. And she is distributing food on a daily basis down there.
Awesome.
Again, for people that don't have the resources, for people that are elderly that can't leave their homes. I really encourage you, if you're watching this, to donate some time or some resources to some cause that you think is good. And the reason I say, because I don't want to dictate, I don't want to say this is where you should give your money. I would love it if you did any of those three. I would love it if you gave any of them some money or some time, because I know all of those people and I want them to be successful in helping people. But I think the best thing about it is when we do that, it makes us feel better about what's going on. And it makes us kind of take pause and say, you know what? We are all one community, no matter what happens, and we have to stay that way.
And make sure to check too that if you are donating places, a lot of employers will match donations to a certain limit. So you may be able to get your donation doubled to something if you just do it through, some employers I think have stipulations where like they can't be political, or I think sometimes not even religious affiliated. Depends on if they have certain stipulations.
Yeah.
But generally, a lot of employers do it. So you could get a donation doubled too. So make sure to check with your employers as well.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing too. I was thinking about, kind of on topic of what you were talking about, of just donate to something that's good. Because I know there are a lot of people, like I've been kind of promoting to donate to like Black Lives Matters and bail funds, Minnesota Freedom Fund and the Chicago Community Bail Fund. Those are like the ones I've been kind of touting. But I understand you may not, if you're not sure how you're feeling from the protests or whatever, I understand that. There are also a lot of funds now that are being set up that are specifically about rebuilding the communities and small businesses that have been affected by the riots and the fires and stuff like that. One of the ones that I've donated to and got a couple other people donate to is My Block, My Hood, My City, which is about rebuilding small businesses on Chicago's south and west sides. And I know that's, I don't know all of the ones. I'm sure there's plenty that are happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul right now.
Yep, there's a huge one for the entire Lake Street neighborhood.
Awesome. I've seen that one.
Yeah, that one's huge. I know that there's an area on the north side that experienced some looting and damage. A little bit over in the uptown area. But there, and in fact, the Native American Center on Lake Street was absolutely burned down and destroyed, and there's a separate fund for that specifically. There are so many things, and all you have to do is kind of take a look. And I apologize because I could have done this and I didn't, because I was busy making my graphics. But there is a site in Minnesota, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the comments. But it lists everybody. It lists every place that you can donate, whether it be food, whether it be medical supplies, whether it be, who knows, you name it. You can, if they need the donation, there are places to do it. And that's the thing. Everybody seems to be stepping up.
Yeah. No matter how you feel about what's happening right now, you can at least appreciate that people need help. Right now. And there are people too, I see just like, well, we sure just kind of forgot about COVID. Okay, well then go donate to a COVID cause then.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of those that need help. And need, a new one that Chris Red, who's on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
He just started one that is a specific COVID relief fund for protesters that he's building up. Because I mean, we're not seeing the effects this is having yet. We probably won't till next week, at least, of what the numbers are going to look like. Because they probably are going to go up because of this. But so there's ways to, to donate that way too, if that's something you're concerned about. There's just right now there's an insane amount of ways to help that are being very, very visible to help somebody that has been affected by what's happening in our world for the last couple months. Because no matter who you are, you do have to realize the last couple months have been absolutely insane. That the entire globe is now being has been affected by a virus, and now is being a part of this movement too. It's I don't know. I hope people are realizing how significant this moment in history is.
Yeah,
because it's insane, and it's sometimes just immobilizes me because it's so daunting with how huge it is. So I don't know. Don't be, and especially too, I know a lot of people are just like, well, how can I help? It's like, listen, you're not going to do it perfect. You're not going to donate some money, have some hard conversations. That's a start.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you can do. You're not going to make this go away, especially too. And I know people I have a lot of friends, especially in bigger cities, who are like, they're kind of scared. They're still so, worried about COVID that like, God, they want to protest, but they're not because they're scared of that. And then they make themselves feel bad. And it's like, well, you are allowed to be worried about your own safety, but there are ways you can help with stuff without having to go on the street and put your health in danger too.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing so many different pages sharing those resources. Just like, here's still ways you can be a part of whatever you want to be a part of.
Let me catch up on some comments here quick. Cindy. I think I would agree with you. 100% there. And good old Charlie. Vote for Joe. She's a libertarian. They just announced that she'll be the libertarian. As much as I'd like to think people would do that, I don't know enough about her, and America doesn't know enough about her to even make a difference. And she could be the right person for the job too. And I'm afraid we'd never know it. Again, not to get into politics. Oh my gosh. Well, talk about fun and games. I don't know if we mentioned this last week. I was asked about a booking for the end of July.
We did talk about that briefly.
Oh, then let's not talk about it anymore. I hate to be redundant. Yeah.
I'm starting to see friends get out on the road, and I was talking with a buddy in New York, and he's like, I still got this gig in July. They haven't pushed it back. So I don't know. We're getting to where I think people are starting to have shows, and I think a lot of us are starting to get hell with it. Let me just do a show or whatever.
I think so. I know we interviewed Brad Williams on Tuesday night.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
That was awesome. He's great. And we'll probably do it again as he'll have some more information on this wrestling cruise, the Chris Jericho Rock and Rager triple whammy.
Wow.
I mean, come on, man. That's at the end of first week of February. But he is the guest host, and it worked out great for us. He's fantastic. Gave us an hour and 15 minutes, which was absolutely, way more than I thought he was going to. But he was talking about the fact that he's out in Florida, of course, Florida. But he's out and running around doing shows. He did Salt Lake City 2 weeks ago. And apparently Salt Lake City says, it wasn't full, but he says, because they got a social distance, but it was certainly better than a, Saturday late show.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
I guess it's all starting to happen. I know of a couple other people that got booked for things in August. So I think things are going to start popping back up again. I mean, it's still, I know Chris Schlichting had talked to us about it last week too. it's like you're in that spot where it's like, should I take this or should I pass on?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. I haven't been actively offered anything yet because I mean I had like the first half of this year booked through June, and then stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And I specifically just haven't really looked into, booking anything else. And I'm still very much on the fence. I miss it very much and all that too, but I'm also still I don't know. I just nervous, I guess. I wish I don't have any more feelings about it. I'm just still like, and right now too, you're just with kind of, I don't know. I feel lame being like, and right now my mind's really on this other stuff, but it is like I'm not really thinking about booking shows right now. I've been so that this last week I've just been kind of dug deep and trying to learn more and trying to help and with this stuff. And that's not me being like I'm just too idealistic to get back to thinking about comedy. It's like no, I'm just feeling really motivated and affected by stuff that's happening and stuff I'm seeing.
Totally get it. All right, so I'm going to look here just at a couple things. All right, so and this is just to pat myself on the back a little bit because
nice.
if other people
sometimes
in power,
you gotta, bud. You gotta sometimes.
If other people in power can do it, I sure can. So if you've been watching along,
I like that you consider yourself in power. That's what I like.
Well, I'm in power in my own little room here.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can kick me out of this anytime you want. So that does give you power. That does give you power.
Here's the thing. I could, but then nobody else would be listening. I don't mean it that way. There's people that are watching, and I appreciate it. So, gosh, it seems like it was a month ago now, but 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Well, not 2 weeks ago.
The last week has felt like 3 years, so I don't know.
Not this last Thursday, but the Thursday before last.
Okay.
We did our match game show. And that was fun.
Yeah, not yesterday, but that was a week ago.
I know. Seems like a month. Doesn't it? But I just want to let you know that we've got like over 2,000 views on it.
Oh, wow.
Which is awesome. The Friday night after we had our thing last week, I was able to interview Joey Vincent, who had been down live streaming.
I've been watching all of his live streams. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did an interview with him on Friday, and it's got 9,400 some views.
Wow.
And so I'm like, gosh, that's pretty good. And people say, oh, you're being oh, you missed it all. We'll start over for you, Carol. Here, let me play the opener.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Goonies Comedy Club.
Okay, Carol, so you're all caught up. Oh my gosh. Here's another thing. I was
Sorry, you got me good at that one. I didn't, and here's the thing too, and this is my fault, because I usually tune in, I usually like join the chat like right at 1 or a couple minutes after, so I've never seen how long that was.
Dude, I have to do these things.
I know, I've never seen the warning or the disclaimer up top. I've never seen that.
I think I'm CNN, man. Sort of.
I only ever catch the little stuck at home, like the little tail end of the graphics. I'm just like, oh man, this is much longer than I thought.
Yeah, but see when people don't. Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate it. When people don't tune in, it's like, oh yeah, well, I'll just see what the hell's going on. It's like going to an open mic. It's like when I have to host the open mic, and people are like, nah, fuck that guy. Oh, we'll come in after he's done. It's like, well, because I do some cool shit beforehand.
It's like when you listen to, when you like, if you ever listened to like a podcast, but it was originally aired live.
Yeah.
And it's just an interview, but you hear them constantly be like, anyway, I'm sitting here with this person, and you're just like, I know, but you forget that it was already that it was being put out live.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yeah. What do you think I forgot? I'm like, oh, that's right. There was a possibility of people tuning in halfway.
I mean, that's why I do that now, because in this day and age, I think it's important to do that, because I don't have control over everybody's opinion. Not that and to be fair, I don't think I've ever had anybody on that I disagree with. But by the same token, I'm streaming on a business page.
That's true.
And I don't want to do anything that people would say, oh, well, those bastards think that. Because they may or may not, and I don't know that. I just know that they've given me the opportunity to use this page. And I want to make sure that we're not screwing them over.
That's fair.
But anyway,
are we planning on doing the match game thing again sometime, or
I was thinking next Thursday again.
Next Thursday?
Because actually that's when the match game is on ABC.
I'll compete with them again.
I'll tell you what, my StreamYard platform has made everything much, much easier, because now I can list stuff up here and it has a name. It used to not be named, so I wouldn't know what it was. So last week when we did it, I had to line everything up in a different browser window. That's why it took so long.
Oh, okay.
So where in this case, I'll just be able to pop it up and I won't have to do hardly anything. That'll be good.
That would be good.
I mean, I still have to go through and edit all of those questions and answers so I can get to them.
Right.
But Fat Freddy will be able to play with his blank next week on Thursday. You know how it is.
I do know.
I just can't stand it. There's so many things, buddy, that have been weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you ever watch the Hell Gigs?
I didn't watch that one. No, I don't think.
Well, just since we're all here, let me. I mean, because I just want people to know how good I am. I'm getting at doing stuff. Here's my Hell Gig opener.
I like that a lot. That's really good. I like that. What program do you use to make?
I use many different programs. This is one thing people don't know. So what I've learned is that I'm using two different video editors. One of them's online, one of them's on my computer. I'm using three different graphics programs, because I can do something on one of them that I can't do on the other,
right?
And then I got to merge them. I'm using a couple of different animation things. I have another. So here's the reason I got this animation thing. Because Mark Poulos and I did this podcast called One Step from the Spotlight. And we think it's really funny, and nobody paid attention to it because, frankly, we both suck at promoting stuff.
Right.
So I have a simple animation program that I'm hoping. It's going to take me a long ass time to do it, but I'm hoping what I can do is animate some of those episodes, because thank God they're not very long. But if I animate them, then hopefully maybe we'll get somebody to pay attention to them a little bit. I always thought that, because we scripted it, it was kind of like The Office meets WKRP kind of thing. And so I always thought there was some value in it. And I always thought, if the right people see this or hear it, they could say, oh my gosh, that would be something that would be marketable or saleable. But I ain't smart enough to do that stuff.
What's it called again?
One Step from the Spotlight.
One Step from the Spotlight. Oh yeah, I've seen you guys do that. Okay.
It's about two former Phoenix AM radio guys, morning radio. I don't mean AM. A morning show from Phoenix that gets fired and is now trying to figure out how to do a podcast.
Oh, that sounds funny. I like that.
Yeah, and believe me, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little inside radio because I overproduce the shit out of it. It's like we've got all of these. Here's a segment, here's a segment, here's a segment, and they all have intros and all that kind of stuff. Well, you can tell I love doing that stuff. But unfortunately, it was only audio. So we have no video present. He's like, hey, we should do a one of your live streams and we should talk about that. I'm like, that'd be great. Yeah. So what do? We just play it with a blank screen? I mean, that'll that we've totally killed the visual element. So anyway, that's going to be something that I have to start doing and figuring out how to do that. But by the time I'm dead, something will happen.
At the very least, we have a really great in memoriam reel that we can play.
Oh yeah,
of your works, the things you've done.
And that's what I want too. I don't know about you. When I have a funeral, I would like it to be like fun.
No, I'm with you on that. I've always thought that I don't like how I've been to so many funerals in my life too, and it's just like we all like to just be there and pretend like we're not feeling anything. And if we see someone crying, we're like, "Oh, okay," and it's not how it is in every culture. It's like it's a really an American thing, or really just kind of a very Western civilization type thing, quote unquote. But it's like of how we pretend like it death happens and we're okay with it and we will all be fine tomorrow. And it's like we stuff it down so bad that's like, I don't want that. Like I've always said, I'm just like, I don't want anyone wearing black suits or dresses come dressed however, laugh, cry, have feelings about it. Like
it's
I was just talking about this the other day with my friend. We're just like, because he was talking about how he knows people from Africa, and like in Africa, it's totally different, especially in like smaller communities. They bury the person, and then they'll bury you with all the pictures of you. It's not about creating this like fake memorial to you. It's literally just like, no, you are someone who has gone now. Now it's about our memories and stuff like that, which is pretty, powerful. But
yeah. Oh, wait a minute here. That's a little dark, Carol.
I want to be cremated and then thrown into the faces of all of my enemies. That's what. That's what.
Yeah. It's funny because I've thought about it for real. It's like it's weird. I'm not afraid to be dead, but I am afraid of dying. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, yeah, I could be gone tomorrow. I'm like, that's cool. But I don't know how that's going to happen. So that's what worries me.
Right. Yeah. It's the when is it coming is what gets you.
Yeah. It's
I totally understand that.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will hit me over the head with an empty wine bottle, which I didn't open any wine today. We'll save it for maybe next week. It'll be better.
Yeah. You don't want to be drunk and trying to get out charity information. That's it's not a good look. That's not.
No, it isn't.
That's not a gracious read of you.
Not at all. But I thought about, I think about this all the time. And what I thought was, because honestly, you never know when you're going to die. And I thought about maybe I should just do a daily, well, if you're seeing this, I'm dead. But do it every day.
Make one every single day.
Because I gotta update stuff that happens.
Right. Yeah.
And I still may do that.
You can just be like what I said yesterday. To like nothing happened today.
Yeah, so nothing today.
Yesterday's is fine.
In case I go, blah 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 blah. And
honestly though too, that would probably be, you would probably really come to accept death.
Yeah.
By doing it, by literally facing it every day and speaking about it, you'd probably get to the point where you'd become so zen about it that people would then, be like, oh, are you afraid of dying? You probably wouldn't be afraid of dying anymore. You'd be like, well, no, I've been I've been putting my daily wishes and thoughts and everything.
It's like if I miss a day, man, people are going to be pissed.
Oh God, yeah, especially if you're putting them out publicly every day. Yeah. Yes, if you miss a day, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, John's dead."
Because you got to do it publicly.
Yeah,
I feel like you got to do it publicly. Otherwise, it's like, because you never know. I don't know.
No, I'm digging that idea. I like it.
Oh, did you, Carol?
Well, I think she was saying.
I got it. I didn't read it before I popped it up there.
Because that's what I thought you meant too. Was like make one every single day, and then it will be played when you're dead. But putting it out publicly every day, I think is a powerful sentiment too. Of just it makes you think about like, hey man, what are you thinking about today if you died tomorrow?
Yeah, if you're, I don't know, but because initially I did think about, doing a video and playing it at the service, which I would still probably like to do, but then I thought, well, stuff changes and you have to keep doing it. Yeah, it's not. No, I'm not. I didn't feel like today was a good day for it, Charlie. I'll come over and sit on your porch maybe this weekend, and we'll have a bottle of something.
There you go.
He my son, God love him, man. It's like
he wants to keep you drinking.
He wants me to. He thinks there's a inheritance.
Yeah, he thinks he's gonna get something out of it.
He thinks he's got to he's got to keep me alive longer than my mom. Then maybe there's something. And even then, it's just a maybe.
Or maybe he's just keeping you drunk enough to just steal little things from you.
Well, no,
he likes to
swing by anything from me. I don't have anything to be stolen. He says, "Oh, I have a couch now."
Oh, was that your couch, John? Did he?
No, there's another way that he's better than me. I don't have a couch. It's funny because I was going to get on. I wasn't going to complain, and I don't want to. It's interesting to me because there's when we talked about this earlier, there's so many people that got so much stuff that they would never ever use. Hold on a minute here. Let me pop this up. Absolutely, I love it, Cindy. I love it. Well, I hope it love. Could you read that fast enough, Logan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that better than, I don't know. And maybe it's just part of it too. Is I just have been to so many funerals, so I just get kind of. Every now and then I want one. Just like I wish one was spiced up a little bit, and not in a because I'm happy, but
yeah, that's right. Well, but he's also the one that supplies them to me, so he would just save some money.
Hey, well, that's in a way, is that inheritance? Kind of. Is that part of it?
It's well, he wouldn't have.
He's not spending on you anymore. So does that become inheritance? It's no longer to you.
He wouldn't have to pay a death tax.
Fair.
I don't know. It's it's just I would.
I'm glad we decided to lighten it up on the back half of this. By the way, I'm really glad.
We did okay.
We played the intro and then went in on death.
Yeah, so the first part is kind of helpful, and the second part is
it's worth thinking about. I think it does give you a bigger perspective on life if you actually sit and ponder your own mortality and potentially live stream every day about your impending death.
I don't know. I mean, if I get enough people that say they would watch it, I'll do it, but I won't do it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you know how much? Can you imagine how much hell I would catch for putting that on Facebook every day? People would just be all over me.
I mean,
for every single reason that's possible.
Right.
I'd have to put it on Facebook so I can monetize it. Yeah, I don't know. Here, another thing too. Gosh. I'm just looking at stuff. See, I mean, every once in a while I'm doing this, I'll get things pop up where people are like, "Hey," and they'll make comments outside of the stream, and I'm like, "But I am doing this right now, so,
right."
Like unless I don't want to. go off the track. Well, anyway, we're 50 minutes. We can be done.
All right.
Anytime. Good conversation. Soup to nuts. That sounds a little personal, Carol. I know. I can't help it. I can't help it. Oh, by the way, I did see, Carol, that Mr. Showtime David Scott is going to be performing on July 4th at the Kenosha Comedy Club.
Oh.
So that'll be interesting.
Are Goonies, they're closed all the way through June, they said, or do they have they?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You know, all I know is I was supposed to be there this Saturday. And the MC, Marc Clampy, we were going to give him his first shot at MC down there. And of course, we can't. So that makes me feel bad.
Yeah, because I guess I'm supposed to headline there at the end of the month, but I think you had said they were going to be closed through June. I
would check with Mark. And I don't know how. I know it's still up on the page. The last time I looked, but I didn't look this week because I just assumed when the state gave us our regulations here that I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so we were going to give. Well, you know Luke Borkhardt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Luke. We were going to give Lucas for a shot at featuring there at Goonies, and Mark was going to MC, and so that sucks.
Yeah, I was having friends in Chicago to come out to host and feature.
Yeah, it sucks when you. I mean, again, it's like you want to help people with stuff and you can't. But anyway, all right.
You can by donating to Shay Cares.
Absolutely. Let me pop that stuff back up again before we leave, guys.
I think that's
here it is. There's information. I really encourage you to support this group with donations, with your time if you possibly can. Shay Webby, if you don't know her, is a comic that lives in that neighborhood and is known and has been known to single-handedly go down to the gas station where all the kids hang out and chase her kids out of there and chase the drug dealers out. I mean, she is badass. And I mean that in the kindest possible way. She's protected as a mama bear protecting her kids. And so I strongly support what they're doing up there. I hope you will too. And just in case, now by the time we're done here, they're going to be done taking donations, but that doesn't mean you can't still send them an email and find out how you can donate to them. shaycaresinfo@gmail.com. I encourage you to do that. And they're doing this daily until the grocery stores can open up and the markets can open back up and service that community. They just don't have anything there right now. Even the Aldi is closed, for God's sakes. You know, that's and if you've gone to an Aldi, you know that's the last place looters go.
You know, but they have good produce there now.
They have
Aldi's really turned themselves around in recent years, man.
I just want to say this because I will go to Aldi. Because you guys may think whatever you want to. I mean, it's not like I'm rich.
No, I shopped in Chicago. I started shopping exclusively at Aldi just because they became way better for produce and meat, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to meet you, Cindy.
Pop up there. Well, it won't go up for some reason.
Won't go up what? The comment? I see it. Oh.
Glitchiest. There we go.
There
okay, now we're unglitched. Thanks for looking in, Cindy. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I go to Aldi's because there are some things you got to just try, and they're just not as good. But that's few and far between. Like the meat is good there, the cheese is good there.
Yeah,
the
all your regular stuff you need. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, So the only thing is you got to remember to bring your own bag.
Which I wonder how they were handling that because a lot of stores weren't carrying bags anymore because of COVID. Was Aldi still doing that?
Oh, I'm sure they had to be. But it's like they charge you 50 cents for a sack, or you can bring your own sack in. Or, what I got used to is when I was working home healthcare, I would just have all sorts of bags from convenience stores. When I'd stop, they have my lunch there.
Well, that's the thing. I have so many just like reusable bags from living in Chicago because then especially once they because one, you just get a ton of bags if you go through, and then also they're not as strong for like carrying them down the street. Yeah. And then they put the bag tax on it. So it was like 7 cents a bag or whatever. So I just have all these reusable bags, and once COVID started, I wasn't allowed to use any of them. It's like, oh, damn, I have all these reusable bags that I have. I have a whole pile of them that I like using, and I had to stop. And now I'm back up to my teeth in plastic bags again.
Yep, there you go, baby. Right. All right. Well, it's a fine Friday, I guess, as we can expect. I'll be honest with you guys. This week was rough. I did not schedule anybody past Wednesday. I was kind of debating on whether I was going to do this or not. So I'm glad that you joined me, Logan. I don't have any guests lined up yet for Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or any other time. And so I will have to work on that. And but in the meantime, what I hope you guys will do is, if you're still watching, share these things to people so they'll watch them. It makes it easier for me to get. Holy cow! Look at that grouper. Holy cow! That is a big ass fish. That's the first. That's the first time. That something went by me, and I'm like, holy crap. Unbelievable. But yeah, thank you, Carol. Yeah, we'll stay out of the trees.
I will go. I will climb any tree I want.
I won't.
I think that very cool.
That was always one thing when I was a kid. I could climb a tree, but I couldn't get down it very good.
Getting down's the easy part. Just let go.
No,
that gets you down.
No, can't do it. Anyway, I will attempt over the weekend to see if I can line up some more people to talk to next week, and hopefully you guys will share these videos, and you don't have to share the live ones. Share ones that you thought were interesting, because the more people, when I can tell people that I get 500 people watching these things, well then some people are more apt to come on because they don't want to come on when there are not many views. They want to. If I want to give something that people are interested in seeing, that's what we need to do. So anyway, Logan Nielsen, great to have you with me always.
Always love being here, buddy.
Folks, have a good weekend. Help and donate if you can.
Yes, please.
Again, like always, if you see somebody streaming something, help them out too, because that doesn't change. That didn't change. There's still a lot of people out there putting things online to try to entertain you, to try to let their creativity out. So stop it, like it, watch it for a while. If it's not your cup of tea, move on. But let them know what they're doing has value. We appreciate that a lot. Anyway, all right, folks. Have a great. Bye-bye.